we're really ready. Now, hold on. Let me go get some microphones up in this joint. That big mama closed the door so we ain't listen to everybody else's TV. She is running late. She was out at the bar having a good old time, acting like she did not have a show to do. But I'm sashaying my butt on over here to the, okay? Big Mama's here. It would. I said I'm here. Now it's Big Mama Daily Digest. Welcome to April 7th, 2026, Big Mama Daily Digest. Because that's what it is. And now I gotta figure out every day. Y'all know how we go. Big Mama gotta figure out all the equipment, figure out this, figure out that, figure it out, figure it out, figure it out. Big Mama gotta figure it out. Okay. So I was gonna do that. And I'm gonna move my lighting a tad bit. Sorry if you guys lose a little bit of light here. Ooh. You guys can see all of my. See how I swing the camera that way? You see all the craziness I got to throw around? Just so I can get life in order. Get it in order. Complicated order. Big Mama, you got a complicate. Hello? Ding. Complicated order. Okay. Let me get my life in order. And then I also said, because they were asking about, where the hell is the phone? Here we go. They were asking about something. And it's like, well, how do you know if you should do it on Instagram or Facebook and Instagram? I said, that's what last month was about. It was the beta test. Now, shit. Big Mama ain't got time for all of this. Now, everybody been pissing me off. Everybody been making Big Mama mad. They be making Big Mama mad. And so I guess what I'll do, I always ask if I should or if I should not allow the people who are on Instagram to join us and see. Wait, if I put that down, let me bring you guys up just a tad bit so that you don't get the. Sorry. I apologize. Y'all know y'all gotta work with. You know you gotta work with your big mama. Y'all know y'all gotta work with your big mama. Okay, let's see. Is that gold hair? Did you see hair on my arm? Look at that. Oh wow, this camera is capturing some things. 80. Okay, so let me see. Cause just know, Facebook people, y'all wasn't about to make it. Y'all wasn't about to make it. You lucky if YouTube people said, yeah, go on to let them in, big mama. Because they were not about to make the cut. They were not going to make the cut. The people on Instagram was just not going to make the cut. But the people on YouTube said, go on and let them people in. Go on and let them in, big mama. Go on and let them have at it. I was working on something for this camera over here. Joy. I said I will. Let's see if I need the light. I don't know if I do, but I look really good to the people over here on YouTube. I see that. I see that look good. Now, the people over here on the Instagrams, I'm not so sure about. Let's see. Do y'all got light? Y'all got enough light? Because you're on the actual light thing. So why? And Big Mama know a lot about lighting too. So I'm just perplexed with the lack of light. Do I need more light over here? I could do some lighting, but I don't really think I need it. And then I can lift this camera up too, so y'all won't be looking at me between my legs, because Big Mama got this little dress on, and I know I'll be having some slips. Okay. So let's get into the show. Today is April 7th. What up, Coop? Today is April 7th. I don't even know what the show's about. I'm gonna tell y'all, and y'all gonna. If you've watched any of my shows before, you can clearly see I am not prepared the way that I usually am. But we're gonna go for it. And I was opening the edible. That's half my problem. I ain't had that. See, this is ghetto. I was running late. I just poured the vodka in the actual container of grapefruit juice and said and shook it like that and said that's gonna have to do it. Mm-hmm. That's what Big Mom gonna have to do for today. Cause what else do I got? I don't got no other. I ain't got it, and I don't care. So today's focus is alignment over approval. Alignment over approval. That's what we talking about today. Alignment over approval. And we are manifesting clarity, peace, authentic relationships, confidence, and overflow. Our theme is alignment over approval. Focus, alignment over approval. Everything is alignment over freaking approval. So on the count of three, take that deep breath with me. Y'all know how it go. On the count of three, 1, 2, 3. And exhale, let it go. Let that ish of today go. Let it go. We gonna throw that in the trash because we ain't got time for it. So we just go, woosah, we let that go. Okay, so we gonna let that go. Where in your life are you choosing approval over alignment? And I know we work some crazy jobs because I think that was probably for many of us the biggest place where we find ourselves choosing approval over alignment. And if that's the only place I say, then that's 100% because we got to do what we got to do to make the bread. Okay, we got to bring it back home to have a livelihood that is where we ain't living in the back alley somewhere. So I do understand that. So that's why I say anything outside of that, that's where the real work needs to come in. I, since being let go of that job, and I will say this, perhaps it was because I began to choose alignment over their approval as to why I got canned in the first damn place. Okay? So let's just say that there. Hey sis, my sister on the line. Um, so yeah, alignment over approval. We can't help what we do when we got to shuck and jive for them white people so we can bring that check home. But as it relates to every other relationship in our life, are we choosing approval over alignment? Because that is doing us a huge disservice in this year of intention, um, authenticity, because that's what we're searching for, is to be as authentic to ourselves as we can and make sure that we are moving intentionally. And the only way to do that is to align what we feel, what we say, all of it needs to be in congruent with what in our actions. Our words align with our actions. We ain't gonna say, oh, fuck that motherfucker, but then we go hang with them. That ain't fuck that motherfucker. Fuck that motherfucker me. Fuck that motherfucker, and watch how I move forward without any mention of them ever again, any hanging out with them ever again. That is you being authentic to yourself. Because when you really said fuck that motherfucker, you meant that shit. That is being authentic. That has been intentional. That is being true to yourself. That doesn't always have to be that harsh, but I'm just saying it in layman's terms so people can understand what is going on. Um, no longer being available for anything that requires you to abandon yourself. If it's requiring you to not be you so much, to pipe down on you, to like tweak you a little bit, maybe that ain't for you. And maybe if what you choose is authenticity, intentionality, and alignment, then you're gonna have to let some of that go. You're gonna have to go on and say, no, I'm not gonna abandon me for that. I'm gonna abandon you for me. And then that is how you live in the alignment, in the true authenticity of oneself. So let's get into it. That pill cam, I don't know what's going on. We waiting on results. They did tell me to take like 5 days or something, 4, 5, 6, 10 days. I don't know. I think Mama making stuff up. I have no clue. I just know that they ain't gave me no results. So looking Shelton sexy. That's what my sister said. She said, why you looking all Shelton sexy? Well, you know, sis, that's just what we do. We don't be trying. We just be feeling. I feel like a homeless person today. Not like I don't have a home, but I couldn't get all the makeup off from yesterday. I used like 4 makeup wipes and I still had blue. So I was like, you got to redo your makeup today, and you might as well just put blue on top of the blue. So you need a blue dress. So I was like, I opened that little raggedy drawer, and I said, yeah, you gonna throw this on. And it was hot today, so yeah, and I just put more blue on top because I couldn't get all that dang makeup off. So you know us, whatever makes it easy and simple, that's us, because we ain't gonna try too hard, because ain't nobody about to try too hard. I read somebody posted today. So yeah, pill cam results. We waiting on them. When we get them, I'll tell you all about them because I don't know nothing about them right now. But when we do, I'll let you know. Marlon Wayans said, "I never got married because I never wanted my mama to be jealous of a woman. I never wanted my mama to feel second." I don't even know what to say about that. I thought Marlon was one of the ones with a little bit of sense in that family. Just a little moniker of sense in that family. Maybe not. I think I played it short. Maybe he ain't, because that was the craziest thing I think I ever heard in my life. Especially coming from somebody who is one of a million damn siblings. Don't your mama got like 10, 11, 12, 13 kids? She ain't gonna never feel second, baby. She ain't gonna feel third, fourth, fifth, sixth, none of that. She don't care. She got a gang of kids, okay? She got too many freaking kids to be feeling like she about to feel runner up to anybody, okay? Stephanie, it's your fault. You had me sitting there at that bar drinking all them drinks. Now I don't even know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I thought that was funny. When I read that, I was like, what the hell kind of ignorance stuff? And I got a show about it called Sunspins. So y'all need to go back and scroll through these podcasts. And what a disservice you are doing if your son believes that he is your husband in any capacity, because he's a child. He is your child. He always needs to understand that he is your child, your baby, your whatever, and go on and live his life as a full grown man that can do for himself, get for himself, provide for himself, have a family, and then make them his priority. And it ain't you, mama. You were just the vessel that got him here, and that is all you need to be. Anything else, you guys are a little bit insane and sick, and it sounds a little scary and sad and cringy that you want your son to be your man. Ick. Who was in charge? These AKAs, because this is the funniest thing. When I tell you that this is the funniest thing, this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Trick Daddy cut up on that stage. I said, I think that Trick Daddy reminds me of the emoji, the boo boo emoji. That's what he looks like to me. Every time somebody say Trick Daddy, that's what I imagine. I imagine the little boo boo emoji, because that's what he looks like to me. And the fact that I don't know who was in charge of this AKA symposium or what they had going on, and everybody in the Divine Nine is upset that man got on that stage to cut the hell up. Because y'all supposed to be so educated. Y'all supposed to be so all of these things. But you guys hired him. And he said something about the bad bitches. And what did he say? He said something so egregious. It didn't even have to be Divine Nine. It could have just been any audience. And baby, don't do that. Don't say that. Don't do it. It was crazy. I watched that clip like 5 times and my mouth fell to the floor. And all of those older women walked out because, there is no because. All them older women walked out because, yeah, well, I would have walked out. I'm not a Divine Nine. I don't got nothing to do with that. I would have walked out as soon as he walked on the stage. He wouldn't have had to open his mouth, and I probably would have walked out, because why is this shit turd on the goddamn stage? That's first and freaking foremost. And then second of all, what song does Trick Daddy have that would be appropriate for that audience? I'll wait. Okay, because what did you think he was going to sing? What did you think he was about to do on that stage for that audience? It was funny. It deserves all of the backlash, the whimsy, the crazy, the talk about it, the ignorant stories. It deserves all of what it's getting because y'all should have known better. Why y'all didn't do better? Divine Nine, I thought y'all was some educated sisters. I really thought you guys were educated. But it's so comical that I'm going to believe that half y'all couldn't have graduated if you thought that was the man for the job. Did you guys see Wendy Osefo's cover shoot for Glamour magazine? Okay, Wendy Osefo, if you don't know, is one of the housewives of the hit series on Bravo, Real Housewives of Potomac. She and her husband are currently fighting a federal and or state case where they got some insurance fraud, some alleged this kind of fraud, and ultimately they said that their home was broken into. People stole all this high end stuff that later the investigators are saying was a hoax, a sham. They lied, and we gonna get them. Okay, Wendy Osefo has 4 degrees, of which she's gonna let you know at every turn that she got 4 degrees. A couple masters, a doctorate. She was a professor at Hopkins University as a professor teaching. Her husband, who also has a number of degrees, they are both Nigerian, not born, but their parents are born and raised in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, Wendy might be, but I'm not sure. Anyhow, why is it every time she is in the news for something fabulous, like her fabulousness, is always surrounding money and surrounding how much of it, the opulence of her life, how much money she has, how grand and fabulous she is. And she has these charges looming where it's showing, based off the prosecutors, you broke, you're living beyond your means, you really ain't got no money, and you doing all kinds of illicit crap to pretend like you got some money. And she keeps putting herself out here like, oh, I am just so high and mighty. And it ain't to say that she isn't, because she's gorgeous. Well, I'm going to say she's gorgeous when she's made up, as many people will and often are. Hello, look, I got makeup and everything on. So you look fancy. You look really pretty because you got makeup on. But then when you take it off, that's when the real judgy needs to come in. But anyhow, uh, I find it so crazy and cringy because every time she is seen on any platform now, it is all about wealth. And to be facing a case like this, wouldn't you want to act like you was as poor as you could possibly be? I personally would, but that's just me. My cousin Jared sent me the post, was like, look at Wendy on the cover of Glamour magazine. He said, she going to jail. I said, that's so sad. She's doing all of this stuff, and then if she go to jail, all hindsight is 2020. This would all be for naught, and it would just look so bad. And I'm just, oh, okay, Al Jazeera. Let's get serious because I didn't want to do a political corner or a political post or political nothing. But me, she, her, Albra would be remiss if she did not. And how did this fly just get in my room? Because this man left this dang door open. A journalist by the name of Mohammed Mishaha lost his life. He was reporting for Al Jazeera, and he lost his life in Gaza over the last 24 hours as a reporter because none other than Israel decided that the ceasefire that I guess we said that we were putting in place, it's the thing that should to do with us. And they went ahead and bombed Gaza. And that's where we are. More than 200 were killed in Beirut overnight because, again, Israel says that ceasefire shit does not apply to them. So they're like Tupac, and they said, we're going to bomb first. There's so many war crimes happening right now that it's as if war crimes don't even matter anymore. But I tell you this, if the shoe were on the other foot, things would definitely be different, right? I'll move on because I want to get into this subject, subject. I just had a long, extensive 2-3 hour conversation at the bar. Okay, that's why I can barely drink my drink. Cause probably don't need no more drink. Well, I still ain't ate my edible because I probably don't need them up. But let's get into it because we were talking about. It started with one question. A man asked me and two of my good girlfriends about the introduction of dating. When should the guy who has a child introduce his child to said woman? And he just was as casual, as if there was a time period, or but I'm not saying this is what he was saying because he wasn't really clear on what he was saying, but I'm going to say this. He didn't feel as if it was as weighty as the females. Now, I'll tell you this. Of the three of us sitting at the table or having the conversation at the bar, of the three of us females, there's only one of us with children. And the one who initiated the conversation, my friend Stephanie, is like, because I've been in a relationship where I didn't want to be introduced to this man and his child. Well, introduced to the man. Yeah, I know the man, but I'm pushing back like, no, don't introduce me to your child. Not at this time. It's not time. At the time. Well, this conversation got into so much stuff that I just said I had to just dissect the sexes. Okay? Because as we said, I don't want to get in these conversations about relationship. That's for my life, after. This season on My Life, after, every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on YouTube. You ain't on YouTube, but y'all on YouTube. So y'all lucky I'm letting y'all in today, Instagram people, because y'all usually don't get no parts of this show. But I'm letting y'all in today because typically you got to find me exclusively on YouTube. But YouTube is over here and y'all over here, so I'm letting y'all have this show today. But tomorrow y'all need to be on YouTube. So anyhow, we're talking about it, and my friend Stephanie, who embarked upon the conversation with the guy before we all kind of joined in the conversation. It's like, no, push back. I don't want to meet your child. And it led me down this path of thinking that there's a difference in value systems between the sexes. And that is what I believe the true divide is between us. So let's dive into it. Because what men feel ain't what women feel. And what women feel clearly ain't what men feel. And so, where does the tension lie? And a few topics that I want you guys to join in on this season on My Life, after. Two shows that we're going to talk about. Hospice wife, because they kind of tie into this. Hospice wife, because again, at this bar, everybody was over the age of 50, with the exception of me. But I'm right there, so let's just say I'm 50. And everybody's conversation was 50 and over. The gentleman in question, he was either 57 or 58. And this is him expressing his thoughts. This is where the conversation started. Okay. But hospice wife and the male loneliness epidemic, because we kind of dove into both of those topics at the bar during this particular conversation. So y'all hang on for those because that's coming down the pipe. But let's get into this. Okay. The truth is that it's less about biological sex and more about how people are socialized and what they prioritize emotionally, relationally, and practically. The core divide, more simplified, is Most of the tension comes down to this. Women are taught to value connection, emotional safety, communication, consistency, and intentionality. Men, on the other hand, are taught to value freedom, respect, autonomy, problem solving, and achievement. One thing that stood out when I was researching this, problem solving. Women want a safe place, and men think that they are a safe place, but they fail to understand that a safe place is not someone, or is not the land of fixing it. A safe place is just where I lay it down. And I have found that in relationships, one huge divide that I've had, especially in my marriage, which is the reason why it didn't work. Well, that ain't the reason why, but it's one of the major reasons why. And wanting to come to somebody you love and lay down your cares of the day, like, this bitch at work, da, da, oh man, this just happened to me. Man, would you believe that my cousin tripping on me over this? Da, 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 and we supposed to be working on this with grandma, and this happened. And my friends are tripping and they think that I should do this because of this, and this is happening because of this, and blah, 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 whatever. And then he immediately, well, you need to da, 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 and you need to, baby, that's not safe. That, you telling me what you need to do immediately, turned off the safe zone. It's no longer safe here. You're telling me what I should do. That ain't safe. You're telling me how to respond in lieu of what I am challenged with right now. That ain't safe. You are telling me how to fix my life as if it can just be corrected that simply. That's not a safe place. And far too often, men find that they're not their woman's safe space, and they get upset about it. Without trying to figure out, how can I be the safe space? You deflect, be defensive, because you're not the safe place without ever understanding how the hell do you become safe. And you become safe by not trying to fix my shit, but just letting me lay my burdens down and give me a hug and a kiss and be like, it'll be all right. That's really all women are asking for. But this is the collide. It can feel like you don't care about me versus you're trying to control me. Why won't you open up versus why is everything a deep conversation? I'm not going to open up to you if you believe that my problems can just be so easily fixed. You don't think that I've sat here and stewed on my own problems long enough to think about all of the ways in which I can mitigate the things that are happening? And you think that as I lay them out to you, you're just going to tell me 5 words and be like, fix that shit. You're not hearing me. You're not listening to me. You're not. So you know what that does? He's not a person I will ever talk to about this ever again. When things are bothering me, rubbing me the wrong way, when I'm stewing with something, I'll never tell this person again. I'm just not going to do it. And then your significant other is like, oh, well, we don't talk. You don't come to me about nothing. You don't tell me, oh, you give all your stuff to somebody else, as if now I'm on the outs. You wonder why you're on the outs? Nobody ever takes the time to understand why you're on the outs. You just feel as if it's an attack. It was only an attack because you felt so attacked so many times and trying to do it that it's like, yeah, no, this ain't safe. This is not. Hey, Roman. Oh, I'm so happy Roman is here. Okay, let me step my game up, people. Let me suck my rose in. I can't hold my breath like that. Sorry, the rose got me loud. It's hot. Oh shit! You just made me hot, Rose. Let me turn my air conditioner on. And see, the people don't see, oh, well, you Instagram people, that's why you should have been over here on the YouTubes and you wouldn't have air conditioning humming on your page or on your show. Help me, Jesus. Help me, people. I got 1 minute left and I got like 10 minutes left to show left. Okay. But that's where they collide in, because we were talking about the divide between the sexes. As if everybody wants the same thing, but don't nobody knows how to go about this shit succinctly, where both parties, both sexes, are getting optimally what they desire out of the relationship, because it's as if they're talking two different languages. The real issue isn't really in the values, as I believe that there are, it's in the translation of the language. Both sides often want similar outcomes: love, loyalty, peace, respect. But because we define those things so differently and express them so differently, they don't feel as if we're both giving the same thing to one another. A woman may see communication as love, whereas a man may see providing or showing up as love. Both are loving, but if you don't speak the same language, it feels like lack. That is definitely one of my biggest problems. Speak to me in the language in which I speak. If I'm sitting here and I speak Chinese and you're up there speaking Latin, I'm just smiling. I know what the fuck you talk about. And you ain't no way you can show me you love me in that, because I'm like, I don't know. I just konnichiwa. I don't know. What the fuck is she saying? I don't understand that. So you telling me, but I've been doing all of this to show you I love you. No, you've been talking in a language that don't got nothing to do with me. So I just been smiling and nodding and shit. And that ain't got nothing to do with Big Mama. I don't know what the hell you talking about. That's where I think the true divide in relationships has gone, because we ain't speaking the same language. Where the divide gets even deeper, where people place their priorities. Some people prioritize growth, healing, emotional awareness, whereas others prioritize stability, simplicity, avoiding emotional complexity. And that's not really gender. That's really when we get back to alignment, intentionality, what it is that is what I desire out of life, who I am, and what is authentic to me, really getting out of this thing called life, what it is that I say that I want. Because a lot of people are fucking liars. They're saying that they want this, they're saying that they want that, but maybe it's only because that's what they believe that they can get. And so I will dumb myself down or lessen myself, or say, because I've been looking at this a lot. People have been posting, I like who likes me, saying that I'm not going to go after anybody. I'm going to settle for whatever happens to like me. That's what I'll go for. And that's how I take that. And to me, that is a level of settling. And I'm not saying go for someone who doesn't like you. No. But if I'm okay. I'm just waiting on anybody to come along to like me. And if they like me, then I guess by proxy or default, I guess I'll like them because they like me. What is found in that? That to me, that's weird. What people prioritize is all those things I talk about: stability, simplicity. Everybody prioritizes whatever it is that is most important to them. And that has nothing to do with gender. Again, that has to do with you aligning yourself to whatever it is. But when they don't match, it feels like how we were having the conversation at the bar. Men feel like this, women feel like this. But really, it's just saying that we have different value systems. But I do believe that, as I originally stated, women tend to value many of the same things, whereas men value many of those same things. What we probably felt in the bar conversation was that one side is arguing from experience and emotion, the other is arguing from logic and principle. Now, what did he say, Stephanie? He said he was like, I'm a very, did he say logical? And I asked him, I was like, do you believe that you're a logical person, or did someone else explicitly tell you, man, you're very logical? Because oftentimes you will speak from a perspective that you are feeling so sound and resolute in, and no one else feels you on that because they don't even feel as if you're the right messenger for the message. But you feel as if you are. And that's what I was trying to extract from him was how you feel that you are, as other people told you that that's how you are. So Stephanie said, I believe he's a very level-headed, logical person. Okay, and that's where he was arguing from, because we all had, for most of us, we had experiences with the said same thing. Should my children be introduced to whoever fly by night? Yeah, but I said he's analytical. Yes, you did. You said he's logical, but he's analytical. Yes. Um, and it creates friction. Emotion says, feel me though, like feel me. Because that's what we're talking. We're coming with a lot of emotion, like, no, but feel me. And logic says, make it make sense. Right. Okay. And then he's coming from a place, because Stephanie just chimed in, he ain't even got kids. So how you gonna speak from a place where you're saying, I think that after 6 to 9 months, because that was his stand, 6 to 9 months, I'm introducing my kids to this girl. Every 6 to 9 months could be like another woman. By the time this baby is 12, you're not with the baby. You didn't introduce them like 20, 30 women who don't mean a goddamn thing to you. So that is some weird energy. And why would you subject your child to that? Now, women on the other side, my friend Stephanie, who was introduced to her significant other's child by default because of an incident that happened. Plans fell through with the child's mother, and the child ended up into their world on that particular day. But she's always held steadfast. Don't introduce, it's not the time. Don't do that. Like, being respectful in what we got going on now isn't the time for you to introduce partner number three. There's not time for that. Well, this man, who I just learned didn't even got kids, think that every 6 to 9 months is the time. I said, what do you even know about a person within 6 to 9 months? So that's the value, since we're women. It's a lot of loose women out there, women who just hot pockets, who just think that everybody's supposed to come through their doors and the door is open and my kids can see you. That's not how I was ever. Well, my parents were married, so of course that ain't how I was raised. But I was never even taught that that is something that I should do. I shared at the table that I have 3 children. My oldest son, who I had as a teenager, of course, he knows his own father, but he's only ever met 2 men that I've ever been with in my entire life. He's turning 30 this year. I said 6 to 9 months, and he had an issue with why wait so long. Yeah, so she even like 6 to 9 months, like, wait, let's see where this is going. Let's see if we even about to be something before you think you need to be ushering in your children. Like, hey, this your new stepmama. Cause why? And then if I'm a woman, real shit, with no kids, why I want to meet your kid? I'm gonna be real honest. Why? Cause what we gonna do? I'm not playing with them. I'm not about to do. I actually would, but as a grown woman, what do you want us to do here? What are we doing here? Until we are in a fully committed relationship, that's step number next. That ain't step number now. So why are we doing it? What is that all about? But I was saying how y'all know Sterling. Sterling has only met his sibling's father, who is his stepfather. He met him at 4 years old, and then we had been together for all this time, and that has grown to be his father, semi legally. And those are my other 2 children's father. So yeah, that's your stepdad. So yeah, I mean, you almost didn't have his last name. That's the man that you met. When I left him, I married someone else. My son, when I had him 18, 19 years old, he's only ever met 2 men. He's turning 30 years old. He's met 2 men that I've been with, one of which became his father and is also subsequently his sibling's father. And then the man that I married, he ain't never met no other man. Because why? Clearly, they wasn't about to be serious. If they was, their names would be somewhere in my life. They'd be either Mike or they'd be Richard, and they not. So they ain't. So again, he met Mike, he met Richard. Ain't nobody else for him to have needed to have met, because he doesn't need to meet all these people that's fly by night. The grown take is not necessarily men versus women. It really isn't men versus, it's alignment with misalignment. And that was what I was really trying to convey at the bar. Either the alignment is there and we got a trajectory, we're going somewhere here. Um, we are valuing the same things, we're defining things in the same way, we handle conflict in the same way, we are both taking accountability for the ways in which we move, and we're saying, this is the precipice of something real. This is the precipice of something lasting. When those things match, we bridge the divide between that gender divide. But until then, if you ask yourself, do we value growth in the same way? And the answer is no. Do we define love in the same way? The answer is no. Do we handle conflict the same way? The answer is no. Do we both take accountability? The answer is no. Go on and move the hell on. Go on and move on. Because it's going to be the exact same shit that keeps coming to haunt you in your relationship over and over again. The gentleman was talking about red flags. And it's funny because the way in which he threw up a red flag, as if it wasn't a place where we can have conversation, we can dive deeper, we can explore the topic. It was like, that's a red flag, ain't it? And I wonder who hurt him in such a way where things are red flags. Like maybe they pink. Maybe some things takes a little bit more understanding. Maybe some things require conversation. Maybe some things, Nike up tops, hello. Maybe some things require perspective and the understanding behind the conditioning as to where you got that perspective in the first place. Because that's what I find, and we talked about this on some shows prior to, that's what I find is one of the greatest divides is upbringing. The ways in which, and that was one of the things. My girlfriend Stephanie over here, who was raised by a single mom, hence why her perspective is the way in which her perspective is. She ain't had no niggas running up and through her house. Her mama bringing this man and that man and that man and this man. That ain't her life. So why would she be the person like, oh, this is what I'm about to do? That I ain't never seen that. That's not what she experienced. And that's a good thing. So why would somebody want to do that to someone else's child just because, oh, I'm her? I could be the one who's paraded through and gone and go meet this man's kid and this man's kid and this man's kid. Says who? Why? That's no. The answer is no. So it's not that men and women are different. It's that we are taught to value different things. And nobody really taught us how to translate love across those differences. And so much of what we see online now are the differences, are the value-based systems that we live by at odds. People wanting much of the same thing, but going about it in different ways. Men seeing these are the things that are most valuable to me, not in a woman, but in a relationship. I want to feel respected. I want to feel this. That ain't really got nothing to do with a woman, but it does, because how does that woman show up in respect to you? And then women over here feeling as if I want to feel prioritized. I want to feel cherished and loved and whatever they stuff is. And a man feeling as if, well, what do that got to do with blah, 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 blah. So in all of this, I will close by saying, I think that we all need to have a little bit more reserve, sit back, listen to what it is that people are actually saying that they desire. I don't think so much of it is red flags. I don't think so much of it is the ineptness of a person's ability to really provide you with what it is that they desire. I think we all go about things so differently that that is confusing. Not only is it confusing, people cannot articulate their emotions well. So the lack of emotional, uh, the display of your emotional intelligence has a gap. And that is what I believe, that whole little gap in the sexes is what I believe all this online banter and fighting and bickering is. Women want this, men want this. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be respected. Everybody pretty much wants the same thing. Yeah, in different facets, but we all want the same exact thing. How we go about it is where the problem seems to be coming in, and nobody is willing to give grace to anybody else. And sadly, as we are getting older, this is one of the things we talked about, people are just throwing their hands up and saying, what the hell ever. And I just rather be by myself and be alone. And that's sad, because I don't think that people truly desire that. But in the vein of giving up, I think so many people are there. I think so many people are there. So let's just close with these affirmations. Hopefully, they go with this. Today, I move like someone who knows who they are. Because I believe in that, you'll attract exactly what you desire. And because I know who I am, everything meant for me knows where to find me. And I'll repeat that. Closing affirmation for today. Today, I move like someone who knows who, and because I know who I am, everything meant for me knows where to find me. My no is just as powerful as my yes. And that's a period. Because that was from yesterday's show that go along with this show. Because, ooh, my no is just as powerful as my yes. And I appreciate you guys for staying long with Big Mama today, because we did go over. And I am most appreciative of you guys all. I thank you for tuning in to Wednesday's April, whatever show it is. Thank you, Roman. And as always, my absolute favorite affirmation, you deserve to live in peace, not pieces. So y'all know the deal. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck up off Big Mama's line, because I don't got nothing to do, but I don't know. I'm just about to go over to the Instagrams and just be scrolling. So love y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for showing up. And I appreciate